Welcome to Denver, Colorado. This laid-back city sits right at the edge of where the Great Plains meet the Rocky Mountains. Known for its outdoorsy culture, abundant sunshine, great views, and more. We're Jake and Emily, the two roaming souls. We're experienced travelers who are based in Colorado, and despite traveling extensively in our camper van for years, Colorado remains the place that we call home. Obviously, Denver is a big city, so it's kind of silly to narrow it down to just 10 things. So we like to put an emphasis on those special, can't find anywhere else attractions. And maybe a few personal favorites too. So let's get into our top 10 things to do in Denver, Colorado.
River North Art District, or RiNo for short, is our favorite neighborhood to explore in Denver. This once gritty and overlooked industrial neighborhood is now exploding with artistic creativity. Most of the action is centered around Larimer Street, where you can't miss the abundance of murals, graffiti, and other street art adorning the buildings. But diving deeper, you will find that it's home to all kinds of creative pursuits, like photographers, sculptors, media artists, and more. And besides the art scene, there's restaurants, bars, and shops to explore. Some notable places to check out are the Denver Central Market, a giant food hall that's a great place to get a meal. The Graffiti Alley, which runs parallel between Larimer Street and Walnut Street, and the Larimer Lounge, one of the best small music venues in Denver. Speaking of music venues, you gotta visit
Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater. Denver is home to one of the most iconic music venues in the entire world. In the foothills outside of Denver, a pair of twin sandstone formations frame the incredible Red Rocks Amphitheater. While seeing a concert is our favorite thing to do here, the amphitheater hosts other types of events too, like movies and yoga. Or you can simply visit the park for free during non-event times. There are trails for hiking and biking that offer incredible views of the rock formations, meadows, and the Denver area. Since the 1940s, Red Rocks has been hosting regular concerts from about April to November. Check out the Red Rocks Hall of Fame to learn about the many legendary musicians who have graced the stage. It's just downstairs from the top deck. Performers and concert goers alike are always captivated by the magical energy at Red Rocks. And the steep angle of the seating means that there isn't a bad seat in the house. While you can catch concerts from all types of genres, Denver's music scene definitely leans towards electronic music, bluegrass, and jam bands. And here's a few pro tips if you do come for a concert. Getting to and from the venue can be a challenge. There's plenty of parking in the parking lots, but obviously that only works if you have a designated driver. And rideshare apps are notoriously annoying to use after the show gets out. So I would look into the various shuttle companies, like Bus to Show, that can handle your round-trip transportation. Most shows at Red Rocks are almost all general admission, so you're free to choose your own seats or move around as space allows. The rows are labeled 1 through 70, and it's a good idea to remember what row you're in if you want to go to the bathroom or go get drinks. If you're below row 35, the music is louder, the lights more immersive, and the crowd packed tighter. Above row 35, there's more room to move and you get views of the city lights, but the sound quality can be affected by the wind. But again, there's really not a bad seat in the house.
Meow Wolf Convergent Station. This might be the most out-of-this-world museum you'll ever visit. Get ready to be transported to another dimension, immersed in psychedelic creations where nothing is ordinary. It's best to come with no set schedule and an open mind. Just allow yourself to be free and curious. As you make your way through the museum, you'll discover a symphony of the senses, with new experiences around every corner, through every tunnel, or behind hidden doorways. You can spend 5 hours in here and still not discover everything there is to see and interact with. From the grand sculptures to the tiniest portal windows, there's so much attention to detail. Ticket prices are $50 per person for a scheduled visit or $60 for any time admission. The museum is great for all ages, but several times a month they host 21+ nights where alcohol beverages are welcome in the exhibits. Otherwise, beverages need to be enjoyed in the Sips Lounge only. And Meow Wolf also hosts special events too, like concerts and other performances. If you're into art, Denver has many more traditional art museums as well, like the Denver Art Museum and the Museum of Contemporary Art.
Denver Botanic Gardens. This 24-acre property hosts a huge variety of plants from around the world. At only $15 per adult, it's a great place to escape the bustle of the city and explore their living collections, with everything from exotic flowers to humble grasses. Even if you're not a plant nerd, you're sure to be dazzled by something. The gardens are generally organized into different biomes, showcasing a collection of harmonious plants from various ecosystems. Some of our favorite locations are the bonsai tree collection, the tropical conservatory, and the water gardens. Most visitors just explore freely on their own, but you can book various guided tours for a much more informational experience. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, give it a like to help our channel grow. Thanks.
Brewery hopping. Would it really be a Two Roaming Souls top 10 video if we didn't include some breweries? Denver's craft beer scene is booming with so many awesome breweries to visit. Or maybe too many, since even we still have a bunch that we haven't been to yet. If you want to try a few, two of the best clusters of breweries are in River North and Sloans Lake. But no matter what part of the city you're in, there's sure to be a good brewery or two nearby. Some of our favorite ones are Odell, Joyride, Hogshead, and Station 26. But others we've heard good things about are Cerebral, Our Mutual Friend, and Fiction. Another place we like is the First Draft Tap Room in River North. They have 40 taps with rotating offerings of all types of beer, cider, and more. But the coolest part is that it's self-serve and charged by the ounce, so you can try as much or as little as you like of each beer with no pressure. When we lived in Denver, we got a thing called a pub pass for $25, which gives you a free beer at 25 different breweries and bars in Denver. You basically just show up and they serve you a free beer and stamp your pub pass booklet, but you do need to plan ahead since they mail you a physical passport-like booklet.
Denver Biscuit Company. This restaurant is just a personal favorite of ours. Their dynamite breakfast items all coalesce around their delicious biscuits, whether that's a fried chicken biscuit sandwich, smothered biscuits in gravy, or some other decadent creation. Denver Biscuit Company is part of the Atomic Cowboy chain that also serves Fat Sully's, known for their pizza, burgers, and chicken sandwiches. And the interior has kind of a funky, retro-futuristic vibe. When that hankering for a not-so-healthy breakfast calls, this is the place.
Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Let's be honest, most people come to Colorado for the mountains, but pretty much the entire eastern half of the state is plains. And the plains are typically overshadowed by the mountains, literally and figuratively. But one great free place to experience this aspect of Colorado is the Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. Sheesh, what a mouthful. This former chemical weapons manufacturing site went through extensive cleanup in the 90s to finally become a wildlife refuge where native species can thrive again. This 15,000-acre refuge is home to bison, birds of prey, deer, coyotes, prairie dogs, songbirds, and more. It's free to visit the park, and the most popular thing to do is drive the 11-mile wildlife drive. We highly recommend listening to the free audio tour podcast that provides insights relevant to each mile of the journey. You can find it anywhere you get your podcasts. And honestly, in all our years living in Colorado, we've never seen so much wildlife in such a short amount of time. The park also has hiking trails, seasonal fishing lakes, guided tours, and a visitor center.
Casa Bonita. This is an iconic Mexican restaurant west of Denver, but really it's so much more than that. Built in the 1970s, Casa Bonita attempts to mimic many facets of Mexican culture and architecture. With live mariachi bands, cliff divers, puppet shows, secret caves, roaming characters, and more. The reputation of the original restaurant is subpar Mexican food with entertainment and decor that is tacky and yet somehow endearing. For many, Casa Bonita was brought into the public consciousness by a famous 2003 South Park episode where Cartman visits the restaurant. The creators of South Park are Colorado natives themselves, who have fond memories of visiting Casa Bonita as kids. So when it filed for bankruptcy during COVID, they couldn't bear the thought of seeing this Denver icon close down for good. But their passion project was quickly met with the reality of decades of deferred maintenance that made the renovation cost balloon into the tens of millions. Against all advice and counsel, they basically refused to let Casa Bonita die, and continued with their financially unjustifiable renovation. It finally reopened in 2023, promising to retain all the character of the original restaurant, but brought up to modern code and with Mexican food that's more than just edible. With all the renewed excitement, it can be a little tricky to get reservations if your schedule isn't flexible. But Emily and I managed to get some standard dining reservations this past October by checking the website frequently. The reservation is a flat rate that includes one entree, chips and salsa, a soft drink, their famous sopapillas, and the freedom to explore the property as long as you like. Alcoholic drinks and additional menu items cost extra. I'm happy to report that the food is very good. Emily got the enchiladas and I got Betty's burrito. We both agreed that my green chili brisket burrito was the best. After your meal, you can explore all the entertainment. And there are several bars throughout if you want to keep buying drinks. I would plan for about 2 to 3 hours for the entire experience. And overall, I think Casa Bonita is really geared more toward kids, but adults who come with a playful attitude can still have a great time at this one-of-a-kind restaurant. Side note, Denver is known for really good Mexican restaurants. So even if you don't want to do the whole Casa Bonita experience, we highly recommend getting some Mexican food in the Denver area. You're probably never far from a Mexican restaurant or food truck that will blow your mind.
Sloans Lake. This is another one of our favorite neighborhoods to visit around Denver. And before you get your hopes up, swimming is not allowed in Sloans Lake. But trust me, you wouldn't really want to swim in this water anyway. However, fishing and non-motorized watercraft are allowed. And the park around the lake is a really scenic place for all kinds of recreation, with mountain views on one side and the city skyline on the other. The 2.6-mile paved loop around the lake is a popular place for walking, jogging, or cycling. And there's also tennis courts, basketball courts, playgrounds, and picnic areas. And when you are done, the neighborhood surrounding the lake has some great restaurants and breweries to visit. We kind of already talked about the breweries before, but Odell, Joyride, and Hogshead are our favorites in the area. And US Thai is probably the best Thai restaurant in Denver. This hole-in-the-wall place is our favorite for super affordable and absolutely delicious Thai food. Oh, and even their mild is spicy. You've been warned.
Go for a hike. We wanted to keep this video mostly focused on things close to Denver, but for many people, ourselves included, exploring the mountains is a huge motivation for coming to the area. While Denver itself isn't really great for hiking, there are so many great hiking opportunities within an hour's drive from Denver, with a variety of easier trails around the foothills that are only like 30 minutes from downtown, or you can drive a little further into the Front Range Mountains for some more challenging hikes. A few popular places to hike within 30 minutes of Denver are North or South Table Mountain, which hike along the rim of twin plateaus, offering great views of Golden, Denver, and the foothills. Clear Creek Canyon, a scenic canyon hike near Golden, Colorado. Or there's the aforementioned Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge and Red Rocks Park. You can practically hike year-round at all these locations, but spring and fall are probably the most comfortable hiking weather. Or if you're looking to go a little deeper into the mountains, check out West Trailhead in Mount Falcon Park. St. Mary's Glacier is a really popular hike to some beautiful lakes and a year-round snowfield. Chief Mountain is a great moderate hike to the top of a peak that gives you that surrounded by mountains feeling. But hiking in the mountains is usually only from June to October, since snow is present for the rest of the months. Another popular thing to do is hike a 14er. That's the nickname for mountains that are taller than 14,000 feet tall. But this should only be attempted by fit and experienced hikers. And even then, I don't really recommend it because basically all the 14ers near Denver are so crowded that it's more headache than it's worth. Sorry for the negativity, but really, there's plenty of other beautiful hikes that offer similar experiences. Or a cheat code is driving the Blue Sky Scenic Byway, the highest road in North America that takes you to the top of Mount Blue Sky. We wanted to include it in this video, but the road is sadly closed for repairs until spring 2026. And getting a little far from Denver at this point, but Rocky Mountain National Park is 2 hours away and is another popular thing to add into a bigger Colorado itinerary.
Visit our website for more information about visiting Denver or other parts of Colorado. We've spent much more time living in mountain towns like Vail and Breckenridge and have lots to share about exploring the mountains of Colorado. Thanks for coming along on another Two Roaming Souls adventure. Subscribe to our channel to find more top 10 videos about Colorado mountain towns coming soon. Catch you on the next one!